I was born where the rail line ended and the preacher wouldn't stay. Raised on dusting card sharp lies and learning not to pray. Sheriffs knew my given name before I turned 16. Said I'd swing before I settled. They were sharper than they seemed. I took to roads that had no maps, slept beneath the stars, robbed a train outside Cheyenne, left bullet dents in bars. Never kept a partner long, never called one friend. Just a horse, a gun, a wanted sign that trailed me round each bend. I rode where law grew thin as smoke, where mercy seldom stood. A desperado carved from drought and misunderstood. But once a year, come autumn wind, when leaves began to fall, I turned my horse toward lantern light on that familiar wall. First time that I saw her there, above the sawdust floor, I laughed at all the local men who'd lined up at her door. But she looked down like she'd seen me on some long-forgotten plain. Not a saint and not salvation, just a pause between the pain. She never asked about the men I'd left out in the sand, never flinched at scar or story, never judged my hand. For one night I was just a man, not a bounty to be claimed. And every year I rode back through to hear her say my name. Once a year I crossed that line between the Haddon and the Hole, left my pistols at the bedside and the dust outside my soul. Call it weakness, call it sin, call it foolish pride, but every outlaw's heart still keeps one place it doesn't hide. One year I rode in reckless, stayed longer than I should, laughed too loud in lantern light and drank what burned like blood. A sharp-cut English gentleman with polished boots and pride took offense at how she smiled when I stood by her side. He called me out at sundown right there in open street, said some things about a lady no decent man repeats. We drew before the church bell rang, dust rising at our feet. He shot wide in his fear, mine struck him clean in the heat. He fell beneath that balcony where I had stood before, and silence swept the boardwalk like never known in war. I should have ridden hard that night and vanished with the dark, but something in me lingered like a fool beside a spark. By morning there were badges and irons at my wrists, not chosen was a road I'd ride alone. They stood me on the timber with the noose pulled snug and tight, sun glaring down like judgment in the hard and honest light. I'd paid my gold that evening for one more autumn stay, but gunfire stole the hours and the dawn took her away.